Future Directions in Organization Development by Thomas G. Cummings and Christopher G. Worley. The field of organization development continues to grow. New methods and interventions are being applied, more complex and rigorous research is being conducted, and organizations from more diverse countries and cultures are becoming involved. Because so much change has occurred in a relatively brief period, predicting the future of OD is risky, if not foolhardy. On the other hand, the field is also maturing, and it is useful to look at the forces influencing how OD is likely to evolve. The chapter first identifies three trends within the OD field that are pushing it toward different futures. The implications of these trends are discussed. The chapter then describes trends in the larger context within which OD operates, including economic, workforce, technology, and organization trends. It concludes with a discussion of how these trends are likely to influence future OD practice. Trends within organization development. Glenn Varney noted that much of the recent writings in OD had focused more on the status of the field than on evaluations of practice or research on the process of change. In support of that observation, reviews of the literature, conversations within internet listservs, and the diversity in OD education and training opportunities suggest three trends occurring within OD, characterized as traditional, pragmatic, and scholarly. Each trend has a different vision of what OD can and should be, and although they are presented separately, they are not mutually exclusive or independent. On the contrary, the future of OD will no doubt emerge from their integration. Figure 25.1 summarizes the trends and their likely implications for the future of OD. Trends within OD and their impacts on OD's future. A strong focus on process interventions also characterizes the traditional trend. OD's key purpose, according to this view, is to ensure that organizational processes are transparent, possesses integrity, treat people with dignity, and serve diverse stakeholders. Thus, OD's primary goal is to help organizations create such processes, whether they subsequently lead to performance outcomes is of secondary importance. Traditional. The first trend has to do with increasing calls for a return to OD's traditional values and practices. Championed by the National Training Laboratories and others, traditionalists argued that OD should be driven by long-established values of human potential, equality, trust, and collaboration. Pragmatic. The second trend within OD is related to increasing demands of professionalization of the field and an emphasis on relevance, championed by the change management practices at large consulting firms and some OD professional associations. Pragmatists argue that OD practitioners should be certified like most other professionals. Scholarly. The third trend within OD is connected with the increasing number of people making research contributions to our understanding of change, championed by universities and applied research centers, such as USC's Center for Effective Organizations and MIT's Society of Organization Learning. Scholars propose a research agenda for OD that includes how multiple contexts and levels of analysis affect organizational change, the inclusion of time, history, process, and action in theories of change, the link between change, processes, and organization performance, the comparative analysis of international and cross-cultural OD interventions, the study of receptivity, customization, sequencing, pace, and episodic versus continuous change processes. The partnership between scholars and practitioners in studying organizational change. The scholarly perspective focuses on understanding, predicting, and controlling change. It is far less concerned about how OD is defined, what its values are, how it's practiced, or whether an OD practitioner is involved except as potential explanations for change success. Implication for OD's future. Those three trends are likely to have important consequences for OD's future. In the short term, advocates of each view will likely continue on their separate paths, with periodic and perhaps intense conflicts among them. In the longer term, however, there should be increasing attempts at reconciling these differences and generating a more integrative view of OD. OD will have more conflicts in the short term. Current views and data debates about OD values and professionalization are likely to continue at least in the near term. The traditional and pragmatic trends hold different and often conflicting views of how the field should evolve. Traditionalists fear that OD is becoming too corporate and may unwittingly collude with powerful stakeholders to promote goals that are inconsistent with OD's social responsibility and humanistic values. OD will become more integrated in the long term. Despite the conflicts likely to continue in the short run, there is considerable common ground among the diverse trends within OD, and the emergence of a more integrated view of the field seems likely in the long term. The field of OD is evolving, but so too is the context within which OD is applied. As summarized in Figure 25.2, several interrelated trends are affecting the context within which OD will be applied in the near future. They, con- they concern various aspects of economy, the workforce, technology, and organizations. The economy. Researchers and futurists have described a variety of economic scenarios, and there is substantial agreement that the world's economy is in the midst of a transition from the industrial age that characterized much of the 20th century. The workforce. The workforce is becoming more diverse, educated, and contingent. The workforce is also becoming more educated. The 2006 U.S. Census data, for example, report that 84.1% of adults over 25 years of age have completed high school and that 27% have bachelor's or higher degree. Organizations. The final trend likely to shape OD's future involves the increasingly network and knowledge-based nature of organizations. The interventions described in this book help organizations become more streamlined and flexible, more capable of improving themselves continuously in response to economic and other trends, and more effective. Implications for OD's future. The definition and practice of OD in the future will depend on the forces within OD as well as the economic, workforce, technology, and organization trends outlined above. Although a variety of scenarios are possible, we choose to present a likely and positive picture. Figure 25.2 summarizes this view. OD will be more involved in driving effectiveness in a broader range of organizations. Responsible progress affirms that all forms of organization should have the opportunity to be successful. It suggests, however, that success cannot be achieved at the expense of cultural diversity and the ecology. OD processes will be more involved in supporting technological and managerial innovation. According to the Responsible Progress policy, innovation is the primary driver of economic success. Innovation helps to create new products, services, and the processes to manufacture and distribute them, and the methods and activities necessary to govern and organize systems towards some goal. OD will become more concerned with preserving cultural diversity. As organizations and the economic become more global, it is clear that the recent growth of OD practice in international and cross-cultural situations will continue. This is a necessary but not sufficient step toward responsible progress. OD will focus more on ecological sustainability. OD will become increasingly concerned with ecological sustainability. This will be true no matter the status of responsible progress. Limits to the world's ecosystem, including its capacity to absorb population growth, function with a depleted ozone layer, and operate with polluted waters, provide serious challenges to the traditional business model. Summary. In this concluding chapter, we describe three trends within OD and four trends driving change in OD's context. OD's future is likely to be a result of the interactions among the traditional pragmatic and scholarly trends, as well as how the global economy evolves, technology develops, workforces engage, and organizations structure themselves.